Today we read the book by Peter H. Reynolds, Happy Dreamer. You are going to be making a happy dreamer self-portrait, but before you do that, you're going to make a background for your self-portrait. You need to think about what kind of dreamer are you and choose colors and designs that will go with that to put into your background. We're going to start by making some texture in our background. Let's go to the texture table. You will get a large piece of paper, write your name and class code on the back, and flip it over. If you don't want the Lego texture on your paper, you can get a clipboard and other texture tools, as well as oil pastels to start to make designs. When doing a texture rubbing, you want to make sure that your oil pastel is laying down on its side. You're not using the point of it. That way, when you rub it across your paper, laying down, it will pick up the texture that is underneath it. So I'm using the spiral texture and moving it around on the background to repeat this texture on my paper. Now I've chosen a different color and a different texture, and I'm kind of overlapping some of my textures. I'm kind of letting parts of the Lego table come through as I do this. I took my clipboard out, and I'm drawing some lines and designs to kind of represent the type of dreamer I am. These lines are kind of showing movement. It shows that the type of dreamer I am likes to get things done and move and try new things. You will choose textures and colors that mean something to you and the type of dreamer you are. Here I'm making a thought bubble, so you can draw shapes with your texture and your oil pastels, and I'm making a thought bubble with the dotted Lego texture from the Lego table background. Then I took another color to outline it and make it really stand out and be bold. Maybe you're a sports dreamer. You could use the texture of the table to make it look like a basketball or a football, drawing those simple shapes, and then you could use another color to even outline them and add smaller details on them for different things that might represent the kind of dreamer that you are. As you are working on your textured Happy Dreamer backgrounds, I will have you start to come and choose a paint color that will go along with your oil pastel texture. So you will get to choose one of these colors of tempera paints that we will then use with water to finish our backgrounds. You will also be grabbing a water dish and a paintbrush while you're here. Alright, so I chose light blue, I have my paintbrush, I have my water. Now when we do this, this is called a wash. So instead of having our paint be really thick, I'm only going to be giving you a little bit of paint. Instead of using really thick paint, we're going to touch our brush into our water and use that water to spread our paint really thin. So I'm just going to keep touching into the water. I've only touched my paint one time so far, and I'm doing long, smooth brush strokes to fill my entire paper with this paint color. Now I still have not touched into the paint again since the first time. And I've already filled up half of this large paper with this color. Now you can see that because I used oil pastels, the oil pastels are resisting the paint, and you can see my design. And now I'm gonna keep touching into water. When I touch into the water too, I'm not swirling my brush around because that's gonna take the paint off of my brush. I'm just touching the water to get more water on my brush to help the paint spread out and move. Now, the more water you use, the lighter your color is going to be. And again, you barely need any paint. So I've still only touched into my paint once, and it's getting a little bit lighter as I go that way, but I kind of like how that's looking. It looks like it's going from dark to light. I'm getting my brush to go all the way to the edge of my paper so that the whole entire paper has texture and color on it. And that's how we're going to make our Happy Dreamer background. So again, choose a color that goes along with the type of dreamer you are. Get a touch of that color and then start dipping into the water to spread the paint. Use long, smooth, even brush strokes to fill your entire background. Try to always go in the same direction. That's part of neatness and craftsmanship. and use lots and lots of water, not very much paint, so that you can still see the oil pastels of your textures that you've already created, filling the whole background with color. When you are done painting your Happy Dreamer background, your paintbrush will be going into the paintbrush bathtub. The paintbrush bathtub is between sinks 1 and 2. Underneath our ballerina poster, here is your paintbrush bathtub. The brush is always going to be pointing down so that it can take a soak in there, so that it is going to be clean for the next person who uses it. All you have to do is set it in the bathtub. All right, so I'm so excited for you to make your Happy Dreamer backgrounds. Remember to draw things and use colors that represent the type of dreamer that you want to be.